Hi guys, welcome to part 2 talking about ethical cosmetics. Okay, so according to survey after survey, nearly all consumers feel strongly that animal testing for cosmetics should be stopped. But saying that, the same people continue to give their support to companies that aren't on the animal testing clean list. Now, according to animal rights groups, this is partly because the labelling is really misleading. So things like no animal testing, not tested on animals, or this finished product not tested on animals doesn't really mean anything at all, because there are no regulations or laws which regulate labels like that. Now, anti-testing campaigners also emphasise that while some products might state that they're cruelty-free and might be labelled as such, it doesn't mean that others manufactured by the same company aren't tested on animals. For example, Herbal Essence range by Clairol is cruelty-free, not tested on animals. But Clairol do actually use animal testing on their other products. So, it's worthwhile considering what Peter is suggesting, which is boycotting all of Clairol, just because that's really hypocritical. Again, just really misleading phrases such as we have not carried out animal testing since 1990. Well, that could just mean that the manufacturers just outsource the animal testing, commission it to other companies. So there is some sort of assurance in a couple of things that you can do. They're not maybe as convenient as just looking at the side of the bottle, but there is something called the CCIC, which is the Coalition for Consumer Information on Cosmetics, and they've got a white rabbit logo, and this is a program supported by many animal rights groups and basically is administered in Canada, in Europe and in the UK. Now, in order to use the CCIC logo, the company has to exclude all ingredients tested on animals after a fixed cut-off point, which is usually a year in the 1980s or early 90s, and this has to be proven via independent audits. You might want to check out the Pocket Compassionate Shopping Guide, which is available at leapingbunny.org, or also the Good Shopping Guide, and I'll find you a link for that and pop it in the sidebar. However, don't panic. Even if a company isn't CCIC endorsed, it doesn't necessarily mean it uses or commissions animal testing. For example, Lush. We all know Lush. You can smell it a mile off. They are handmade soap specialists. Now, they don't buy any of their ingredients or any of their products from any companies that currently test on animals, but they don't have a fixed cut-off point. So that's just something to be aware of. Now, Peter have also got a website, caringconsumer.com, where they have a list as well of companies that don't test on animals, that don't do any non-required animal testing on ingredients, formulations or their finished products, and they also promise not to do so in the future. Now, of course, there is a bit of an overlap therefore between the CCIC logo and then the Peter list. However, what is really handy is that Peter also offers a list of companies that do test on animals, which I will go through with you in a moment. Hopefully I will have time. So, leaving aside the animal testing, there are a number of manufacturers trying to be ethical operators on a broader level. Now, often this doesn't go much further than shunning the plethora of synthetic chemicals used by the big firms, but many of these companies also use organic ingredients in recyclable plastic bottles and shun animal-based ingredients generally. And unlike the big players, they're nice small businesses which are far removed from the horrible world of, corporate lobbying, political donations and the like. And there are now hundreds of companies which offer organic and testing-free body care products as part of their range, or maybe that's just what they do. A good website again is greenpeople.org with some links on there, so I'll pop that in the sidebar. Okie dokie. So I just want to go through some of the companies that are good guys. You might want to look at All Natural Cosmetics, which I found at allnaturalcosmetics.com. Not the most alternative company in the image department, but the stock is extensive. They have more than 300 products, including organic ones, and they hit all the right no buttons. So they don't test on animals, they don't use pesticides, synthetic chemicals or mammal ingredients. Another site you want to check out, Beauty Without Cruelty, beautywithoutcruelty.com. Basically, this has actually been around for like decades and actually adopted a no animal testing policy back in the middle 1970s. And they've got a big range of skin, body and healthcare products and cosmetics, and there are a few organic options there. Also, another site to check out, greenproductsalliance.com, which is actually funded through one of the few companies offering USDA certified organic skin and hair products, which is the Vermont Soap Organics. NewDayOrganics.com, that's another one, which is women-oriented natural organic body care. Basically features products created and marketed by women entrepreneurs. And another one, Pangea Organics, which is Pangea Organics.com. Basically, yes, it does have a limited stock of body and facial care, but on the whole, this company espouses, a commitment to always cruelty-free and always organic and always fair trade. So you might just want to check those out. Now, before I run out of time, I want to go through a list which I have recently found through Peter's Caring Consumer branch, stating that the following companies manufacture products which are tested on animals. Okay, so you've got Boyle Midway, Cheeseborough Ponds, who have the Fabergé Ponds and the Vaseline names, Church and Dwight, who are responsible for AIM, Arm & Hammer, Arid, Brillo, Close Up, Lady's Choice, Mentadent, Nair, Pearl Drops, Clairol, their products Aussie, Daily Defence, Herbal Essences, Infusium 23. You've got Clorox, which is Armorall, Formula 409, Fresh Step, Glad, Liquid Plumber, Pine Sol, Soft Scrub, SOS and Tilex. Colgate Palmolive, who have got Ajax, Fab, Hills, Pet Nutrition, Menon, Palmolive, Soft Soap, Speed Stick. COTY, Adidas, Calvin Klein, Davidoff, Glow, The Healing Garden, Dupe, Jovan, Kenneth Cole, Lancaster, Marc Jacob, Rimmel and Stetson. You've then got Dell Laboratories, who are in charge of Corn Silk, La Croix, Naturistics, New York Colour, Sally Hansen. And then the Dial Corporation, who own Purex and Renuzit. Erno Laszlo, I can't pronounce that. Helen Curtis Industries, who own Finesse, Salon Selectives, Thermosilk. Johnson & Johnson, very bad. Aveeno, Clean and Clear, Neutrogena, the Rock range. Also the Kimberly-Clark Corporation, who own Cottonelle, Huggies, Kleenex, Kotex, Pull-Ups, Scott Paper. L'Oreal USA, who own Biotherm, Cacharel, Garnier, Giorgio Armani, Helena Rubinstein, Lancome, Matrix Essential, Maybelline, Ralph Lauren Fragrances, Redken, Soft Sheen and Vichy. Then you have Mead, Melaleuca, Neoteric Cosmetics, New Dana Perfumes, Noxel, Olay Company, or Oil of Olay, or Oil of Ulay, or whatever it's called these days, Pantene. Then you've got Pfizer, who own Bengay, Desitin, Listerine, Lubriderm, Plax and Visine, Playtex, the Baby Magic stuff, Banana Boat and Ogilvy, Procter & Gamble test on animals. They own CoverGirl, Crest, Giorgio, IAMS, Max Factor, Physique and Tide. Reckitt Benckiser, who own Easy Off, Lysol, Mop and Glow, Old English, Resolve, Spray and Wash, Veet and Woolite. Veet, also known as Imac, I think. Richardson Vicks. Then you've got Reckitt Benckiser, who own Bain de Soleil, Coppertone, Dr. Scholl's. SC Johnson, who own the Drano, Edge, Fantastique, Glade, Off, Oust, Pledge, Scrubbing Bubbles, Shout, Skintimate, Windex and Ziploc brands. Sharing Plough, who also own Bain de Soleil, Coppertone and Dr. Scholl's. You've got 3M, who are the Post-it note people and the Scotch tape people. Unilever, They own Axe, they own Dove, Lever Brothers and Suave. Now, currently, the Bit Corporation and Gillette, who own Braun, Duracell and Oral-B, currently have a moratorium on animal testing, but they have not permanently banned it. Okay, I've got to go now because I'm out of time. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.